Little brown jobs, like gulls and shorebirds, represent a group of southwestern Ontario birds that are too frequently shrugged off. Sparrows are thought to be too tough or too brown or too boring, but it's really only 16 birds. We already know some of them well enough, and the rest are learnable. In this short flick, we'll highlight just one or two identification keys for each species. That's it. So let's jump right in. We'll start with a quick look at each of the 6 easiest ones. The house sparrow is one of the largest sparrows, and it's well named. These birds prefer living around residences and other buildings, so key in on size and habitat. The male has a black face and chin. The adult female has an overall drab look. These are social birds, so if you see or hear one chirping in a bush, you'll likely see or hear several. Officially, the eastern towhee is a sparrow of the Emberizidae family, even though it isn't a little brown job. Key in on this bird's unique size and plumage and its vocalization. The towhee is the size of a cardinal, and its plumage is dramatic. It sports a dark head, back, and tail with white underparts and rufous flanks. Through the spring, the towhee's "drink your tea" call rings out. Sometimes it's just the drink note that you'll hear. The dark-eyed junco is another sparrow in the family that is super easy to ID. Key in on the season. This migrant is around from fall to spring. And note the unique field marks. The bird has a pink beak, a gray head and back with white underparts, and white flashes on each side of the tail that are especially obvious when the bird flies. We'll deal with the song sparrow and Savannah sparrow together. Both of these are common species that migrate north to breed here. Each bird has a brown back and a breast with streaking and a central spot. So the trick with these two is to key in on habitat, the bird's lures, and vocalization. The Savannah sparrow is a well-named grassland bird. You're unlikely to see it in town. Observing yellow lures, the small feathers between the eye and the beak, will also help you to land on a positive ID. Hearing the Savannah's buzzy call can also clinch the species identification. So for the Savannah sparrow, remember grassland habitat, yellow lures, and a buzzy call. As you can see here, the song sparrow is very similar in appearance to the Savannah sparrow, and it's just as common. But the song sparrow exploits different habitats, and the song sparrow does not have yellow lures. Also, its song is more musical than a Savannah song. It's called a song sparrow, right? Listen for 3 or 4 notes followed with a little trill-like flourish. Let's have a look now at the well-named white-throated sparrow. The adults typically have a white throat, a white striped crown, and yellow lores. Bear in mind that there is a tan striped one, and first winter birds don't have the white plumage highlights here. Another well-known identification key for the white-throated sparrow is its sweet springtime song that is variously translated as "Old Sam Peabody, Peabody," or "Oh Sweet Canada, Canada." So far, so good. The next sparrows that we'll look at are also pretty easy to learn. The white-crowned sparrow is a relatively large sparrow, and it too is well named. Key in on the size and the adult bird's crown that has extensive white contrasting with its plain cheeks and neck. It has a pink beak. From spring to fall, the field sparrow is attracted to fields and brushy habitat. Look for a rufous crown, a pink bill, an obvious eye-ring, and a plain gray chest. The song of the field sparrow is also distinctive. It's a series of clear, accelerating notes that is sometimes likened to a ping pong ball bouncing on a ping pong table. You'll often hear this bird before you see it. So remember, bushy habitat, ping pong ball call, eye-ring, and pink bill. The chipping sparrow, another migrant, is a common bird. It has a rufous cap, an obvious black line through its eye, and a gray chest. Its vocalization is a trill that can sometimes be mistaken for another bird, such as a swamp sparrow, or a pine warbler, or another triller. So key in on the relatively small size of this bird, as well as the rufous cap and black eye line. The fox sparrow is a beautiful bird with a beautiful song. Most of us will only see this bird as it migrates north to the boreal forests in the spring and as it flies through southwestern Ontario on its way further south in the fall. So, seasonal distribution is a good clue for us. Also, key in on this sparrow's large size and its reddish and gray plumage. The rufous spots against a white chest really pop. Not surprisingly, the fox sparrow is a species that will sometimes be mistaken for a thrush. Like the junco, the American tree sparrow is a bird that is with us through the winter months, so seasonal distribution is a key to IDing this bird. It likes scrubby, shrubby, brushland habitat. At a glance, it looks a bit like a field sparrow, but the field sparrow isn't around in the winter. The tree sparrow has a rufous cap and a central spot on a gray breast, but I key in on the unique bicolored black and yellow bill. The grasshopper sparrow is a cool bird. It's also a species at risk in Ontario. It, like the savanna sparrow, is a grassland bird, so habitat is one key to identification. There is a bold central stripe on the crown of this bird's flat head. Another key here is the insect-like tick-tick buzz song for which the bird is named. For many years, I found the swamp sparrow to be particularly challenging to identify. For starters, do pay attention to habitat. This is a well-named bird that will be found most frequently in or around swamps, marshes, and other reedy areas. The bird's white throat can still cause me to do a double take, so I look for a wing with a nice chestnut patch and no wing bars. As I said in passing before, the swamp sparrow has a trilling call that's similar to the chipping sparrow or pine warbler. There's no shame in activating the Merlin app for an assist on vocalizing birds. The last three species that we'll look at here are sparrows that are certainly viewable in southwestern Ontario, but they might not be seen every year by every birding enthusiast. The Vesper sparrow is a bird whose field marks can be confused with those of a song sparrow or savanna sparrow. So, a brown back with a brown streaked chest also has a central spot. It's important to check out the bird for a white eye ring. The eye ring, along with white outer tail feathers, can clinch the Vesper sparrow ID. The Lincoln sparrow is a fly-through migrant that we might see in the spring or the fall. Key in on this bird's finely streaked, buff-toned breast. Finally, the clay-colored sparrow's plumage is gray with brown, but key in on the gray nape and a raspy vocalization. There are, of course, some other sparrow species that might very occasionally appear during our spring and fall migration seasons. If you're especially skilled and keen and lucky, you might be rewarded with a view of a rarer sparrow such as Henslow's, a lark sparrow, Harris's sparrow, or a Nelson sparrow. You're still with me. So how about a quick recap or quiz that looks at those 16 birds, southwestern Ontario's most common sparrow species. White crown, pink beak. Gray uppers, pink beak. Eye ring, pink bill. Rufous cap, black eyeline. Yellow lores, buzzy call. No yellow lores, 3 notes and a trill. Gray nape, raspy vocalization. finely streaked, buff-toned breast. Habitat: chestnut wing patches. A large thrush-like sparrow with reddish and gray plumage. Distinctive plumage. Drink your tea. White throat, white on crown, with yellow lores. White eye-ring, white outer tail feathers. Flat head, striped crown, and a tick-tick buzz call. Rufous cap, spot on plain breast, two-toned bill. So we did it. Yes, sparrows can be challenging, but they're definitely learnable, and equipped with a little more knowledge, we can accurately identify even more of the sparrows that we see.